Right now we are at Rocket Park at Johnson Space Center, so we've got different rockets here. So the first one we're going to go in to see is the Saturn V rocket, which got us to the moon and back 5 times. This is definitely my favorite rocket with like no contest whatsoever. The Saturn V rocket is 363 feet long. It is the most powerful rocket to successfully fly. It's the tallest rocket to successfully fly, and to date nothing has been built that could match its capabilities in terms of just sheer payload and thrust. All of the rocket stages themselves were intended for flight. And so down to this portion here, this is the Spacecraft Lunar Module Adapter, also called the SLA. The lunar module would sit in there. If we come around this side, you can see where that would sit. The lunar module would sit in here. And it's made up of 4 panels. They're spring-loaded, so after the translunar injection maneuver, the panels would open up, they'd move away, turn around, and then come back into dock with the lunar module. And then so if we look over here, this is the top portion of the S4B third stage of the Saturn V. It has a single, I think it's a J1 engine. And these little pods on the side, those are the ullage motors. Basically, as they separated the stages, they'd burn those engines to get all the propellant settled into the bottom of the tank so that they could actually get sucked into the engine. Because that fluid sloshing around in zero gravity, it doesn't work so well when it takes the fluid away from the fuel intakes. The engine tends to not work then. Alright, so yeah, this would burn for about 2 minutes on the initial ascent, and then the engine is restartable so they can do about 2 orbits of the Earth to make sure all the system's ready before they commit to the translunar coast. Just another note on the S4B here, or no, sorry, that's S2 that does that one. S2, to save weight, they used a common bulkhead between the liquid oxygen tank and the liquid hydrogen tank, just to save weight. But they also had to have a lot of insulation there because comparatively the liquid oxygen, it's about 100 degrees warmer than the liquid hydrogen, which is about minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So then this is the S2 second stage. It burned for about 6 minutes. It's powered by liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, as is the S4B. And so then this would take them from the point, just from about 6 minutes, ignited about 2 minutes into flight, 2.5 minutes in. And actually, little known fact, but on the Apollo 13 flight, the middle engine of the S2 actually failed, or actually had to be shut down during flight because of vibrations that could have potentially destroyed the rocket if they weren't corrected. And so this is the engines of the S2 stage. It's 5 J1s, producing a combined approximately, I think it was 1.25 million pounds of thrust. So then as we get farther down to this end, you can see, starting to see the 5 F1 engines that power the first stage, producing a combined 7.5 million pounds of thrust at launch, or at liftoff, building to almost 9 million pounds before the engines cut out. So as we get down here, the rocket is 33 feet in diameter.
Who would control those engines? Would that be the astronauts or?
Automatic instrument unit controls that. However, the instrument unit was suppressed for about the first minute, I think, until the rocket could get past the area of max Q, which is the maximum dynamic pressure. So like the atmosphere combined with the pressure of the air pushing onto the rocket as it moves forward is at a maximum. I'm not a professional tour guide. Everything I've said is from what I've read before and could potentially be wrong. So
he's really smart. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Danielle. So this here is a single F1 engine. They had 5 of these to power the first stage of the Saturn V rocket. Each one of these, they burned liquid oxygen and RP1, which is the rocket grade kerosene, and each engine produces 1.5 million pounds of thrust at sea level in liftoff. So just to the left here is a Mercury Redstone rocket. They use these for all of the Mercury suborbital flights. So Alan Shepard flew in one of these for the first American manned space flight. Okay, so we have here, this is the orbiter access arm in the White Room. So this is how the astronauts and support personnel would get into the shuttle orbiter itself while it was standing on the pad ready for launch. So it would swing away just before launch, and and then in an emergency it could swing back up to the orbiter in about 15 seconds, I think it was. This concludes the Carthage College tour of the rocket park, brought to you by Stephen Mathe.